tonight's expected ground track. This red line shows the path the Falcon 9 will take on its climb into space tonight. It'll head downrange to the northeast from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. We've labeled here the locations of Space Launch Complex 40, the launch pad, as well as the drone ship named Just Read the Instructions, which is positioned about 400 miles or 650 kilometers northeast of the Cape. That's roughly due east of Charleston, South Carolina. That's the position of the drone ship for tonight's mission. So as you can see, the Falcon 9 will head on a path that parallels the east coast of the United States. It'll be passing east of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It'll also be passing east of New Jersey, east of New York City, off the coast of Cape Cod, and then off the coast of the Canadian Maritime Provinces. Those of you who may be living along the East Coast, if you have clear skies, you may be able to catch a glimpse of the Falcon 9 as it heads to space this evening. Liftoff now less than 12 minutes away. The Falcon 9's upper stage is set to deploy the 54 Starlink satellites about 15 minutes and 21 seconds into the flight, while the vehicle is flying over the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean between Newfoundland and Ireland. SpaceX's countdown just passed T-minus 10 minutes. Again, liftoff is targeted for 8:18 and 40 seconds p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is 12:18 a.m. 40 seconds UTC. If you're just joining us, you're watching live views of Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. I'm Stephen Clark reporting live from Kennedy Space Center a few miles away from the pad tonight. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, please hit the like button on our stream. It helps us gain a bigger audience and reach more viewers with our live coverage tonight. So please like our stream if you haven't already. You can also join our Spaceflight Now YouTube channel as a member. We have different membership levels available for you to choose from. And depending on which level you select, you can gain access to exclusive video features. So bonus video coverage is available to our Spaceflight Now members who help us sustain our coverage of the launch schedule and launch activity here at Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. You can also contribute in our chat, in the super chat, using the super chat function rather. So any contribution you can provide there really helps us continue and expand our coverage. T-minus 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Here's a view of the flight history for this booster. This is booster number 1067 in SpaceX's inventory of reusable first stage boosters. It's flown 5 times before. It debuted back on June the 3rd, 2021 with a space station resupply mission using a Dragon spacecraft. It launched again last November with a team of 4 astronauts heading to the International Space Station on a Crew Dragon capsule. It launched last December with the Turksat 5B geostationary communications satellite. And then it flew again on April the 27th of this year with another crew mission heading up to the ISS. And most recently it launched on July the 14th of this year with the CRS-25 cargo mission to the ISS. This booster going for flight number 6 tonight. Now inside of 7 minutes till launch.
Engine chill.
We've heard the call now from SpaceX Launch Control of engine chill. This is the start of the chill down of the 9 Merlin 1D or M1D engines that power the Falcon 9's first stage. This involves flowing a little bit of liquid oxygen through some of the plumbing into the engine compartment, into the engines themselves, to thermally condition those engines for startup. The oxidizer used by the Falcon 9 is chilled several hundred degrees below zero, so this chill down flows some of that oxidizer through the engines to get those engines down to the proper cold temperature to safely receive the full flow of liquid oxygen during the ignition sequence and the flight.
Stage 1 fuel load complete.
We've heard now the call of stage 1 fuel load complete as the countdown nears T-minus 6 minutes. So the Falcon 9 has been fully loaded with 46,000 gallons of RP1. This rocket propellant 1. It's a highly refined kerosene fuel. Liquid oxygen continues flowing into the vehicle for another few minutes. That will be terminated at about T-minus 2 minutes or so. T-minus 5 minutes, 10 seconds. The next major event will be the retraction of the strongback at the pad.
Falcon tanks are pressing for strong back retract.
You'll know that lightning and poor weather forced us to stand down from our 4 other launches. Minutes and indicated that weather is looking favorable for tonight's T-0. We're currently at only a 20% chance of violating launch criteria. It does look like a beautiful night tonight to hit the Cape, so here's hoping we're able to lift off this evening. The teams are currently tracking no issues with Falcon 9 or the spacecraft, and the range is green for launch, and we are proceeding with a T-0 of 8:18 p.m. Eastern Time. With liftoff just 3 minutes and 45 seconds from now, we are standing by for TE retraction. We should be seeing, and we can see the clamp arms opening up now.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
And at T-3 minutes, the Falcon 9 first stage is fully loaded with RP-1 and LOX, and we're awaiting completion of LOX load on the second stage in about T-1 minute from now. We'll keep listening in for stage 2 LOX load completion.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with 1 million pounds of fuel and liquid oxygen. Today marks SpaceX's 96th overall launch from Space Launch Complex 40, and as I mentioned earlier, it's our 180th launch overall.
Ground closeouts have started.
The booster you see on your screen is flying for its 6th time today, previously having supported CRS-22, Crew 3, Turksat 5B, Crew 4, and CRS-25. After liftoff and stage separation, the booster is scheduled to land on our drone ship, Just Read the Instructions, which is currently stationed in the Atlantic Ocean.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Go for launch. T-minus 30 seconds. Fifteen seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 4-34. Go Falcon 9. Stage 1 chamber pressure.
And we've had a successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Beautiful night here at the
Falcon power
Space
and
Coast.
telemetry is nominal. XQ.
Vehicles pass through max Q, which is the point of maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket. We are about 1 minute to main engine cutoff, stage separation,
Start event back chill.
and second engine startup. Keep an eye out for these events happening in quick succession. Main engine cutoff is where we will shut down all 9 engines on the Falcon 9's first stage. Beautiful clear night out here on the west coast, on the east coast.
Eco.
Stage separation confirmed.
And back startup.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there we had main engine cutoff 1, stage separation, and second engine startup 1, followed by fairing deploy. Today marks the 3rd flight for one of these fairing halves and the 4th flight of another. We will attempt to recover both of the fairing halves again to use on a future launch. Beautiful night out here. On the right side of your screen, you can see stage 2 is accelerating into space, while the left side of your screen, stage 1, the grid fins have deployed, and stage 1 is entering back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
Again, today's mission marks SpaceX's 180th overall launch and our 42nd launch this year. And this first stage booster has flown several missions previously. CRS-22, Crew 3, Turksat 5B, Crew 4, and CRS-25.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in rural and remote locations around the globe. On the left side of the screen, you can see some small attitude adjustments being made from the gas that's being blown out the side. In about 30 seconds, we'll have stage 1 entry burn startup. This is a 3-engine burn that will continue as the stage 1 enters in the atmosphere and slows it down for atmospheric reentry.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
Stage 1 has ignited its engines and is slowing down. It's a 20-second burn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
We had a successful shutdown. Stage 1 will now coast through the atmosphere until landing burn out of the Atlantic Ocean and land on our drone ship, target landing on our drone ship.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
Just read the instructions. On the left side of the screen, you can see that stage 1 is slowing down very quickly.
Stage 1 transonic.
You heard that first stage is transonic. This means that it's traveling near the speed of sound.
Thermal guidance.
We'll look out here for in just a few moments for a landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 1 has lit its one engine to prepare for our landing on drone ship. Just read the instructions.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Pico.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Falcon 9 has landed, marking the 135th
Nominal
landing
orbit insertion.
of a Falcon 9 first stage and the 42nd launch of 2022. As you may have heard, shortly after
Signal. Cape.
landing burn start, we had a successful engine cutoff. Stage 2 is now carrying its 54 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. And we also had a confirmation of good orbit. With confirmation of the first stage landing
Acquisition of signal, Newfoundland.
and successful engine cutoff, we'll wrap up today's launch coverage. If you're interested in following along, we have our nets live on YouTube, and be sure to check SpaceX social media for confirmation of Starlink deploy. Thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again soon.